Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Attorney John Deaton has placed a $1 million bet on himself. As most of you are undoubtedly aware by now, Attorney John Deaton is running for U.S. Senate against entrenched incumbent Elizabeth Warren, who is perhaps the most anti-crypto politician in all of Congress. There's certainly a case to be made. And then obviously Attorney John Deaton on the flip side, part of our XRP community, very pro-crypto himself here. And so I want to share with you some of the latest comments from him and how things are going and what he has to say. I haven't really had as much to highlight from him recently because, and it's understandable, of course, he's a busy guy, okay? And so he's been doing all sorts of things, pushing forward and fundraising and doing everything he can to push his campaign forward, which seems to be going quite well to this point. But as a result, he's been sharing less about some crypto-specific things, less than he was before the campaign got going. So again, not surprised in the least. Put the energy where it needs to be. but I thought that since he's part of our beloved XRP community, that a lot of you would be kind of curious to hear the latest from him. And he posted a moderately long thread that I just thought I'd share with you so you can get the latest take. And then there's also this headline from Cointelegraph: U.S. banking lobby last-minute bid to stop Biden vetoing SAB 121 overturn. And so I have mentioned that Biden on Friday at 5 p.m., so nobody paid attention, he did veto this bill that passed. But I want to share with you some additional specifics because there's a banking association that actually kind of surprisingly, didn't want Biden to do this. And I have a comment also on this from Stuart Alderati, who is, of course, Ripple's chief legal officer. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so into this first piece from Cointelegraph. Again, it's titled U.S. Banking Lobby Last-Minute Bid to Stop Biden Vetoing SAB 121 Overturn. Just hours prior to United States President Joe Biden vetoing the Staff Accounting Bulletin, or SAB, 121 repeal on May 31st, the largest lobbying organization for the U.S. banking industry, which is the American Bankers Association, or ABA for short, penned a letter in an attempt to sway his decision. And so you'll recall that on May 8th, the White House, Joe Biden specifically, put out a warning, said, hey, if this actually passes Congress and this makes it to my desk, I am going to veto this. And of course, we would love to have this damn thing repealed because SAB 121 basically makes it impossible for legacy finance to custody crypto. So anyway, piece continues. Precluding regulated banking organizations from effectively providing digital asset safeguarding services at scale harms investors, customers, and ultimately the financial system, the ABA wrote in a May 31st letter to Biden just before he announced his decision to veto the congressional resolution aimed at repealing the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, of course, SAB 121 guidelines. Even though both chambers of Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate, voted in favor of repealing the SAB 121 guidance, Biden opted to use his presidential veto authority, preventing the guidance from being overturned. The lobbying group explained that the SAB 121 is a big change from how custodial assets are usually treated, and it could make it harder for the industry to keep digital assets safe for customers. Yeah, and that's certainly true. The SAB 121 represents a significant departure from long-standing accounting treatment for custodial assets and threatens the industry's ability to provide its customers with safe and sound custody of digital assets, the ABA explained. Limiting banks' ability to offer these services leaves customers with few well-regulated, trusted options for safeguarding their digital asset portfolios and ultimately exposes them to increased risk, end quote, it added. And of course, that's obviously true. And how is this being spun? Well, the current administration, so we're talking about Biden here, he says that by vetoing this, he's actually protecting you. That's right. By making it harder for legacy finance to offer these services to you, he's protecting you. Hell no. And not surprisingly, Senator Elizabeth Warren, obviously thrilled for this. Check this out. The piece continues. This is why I hope And I think it can happen. I hope that Attorney Deaton can make Senator Warren become unemployed in November. I think he can. I genuinely believe there's a real path forward. More on that in just a second, because John Deaton explains what that path is and how narrow it is in his own words. But there is a path for real. Anyway, piece continues. For some in the crypto industry, the ABA's pro-crypto statement may be surprising, especially considering that just last year, reports surfaced of the group helping Senator Elizabeth Warren, known for her skepticism towards crypto, in drafting anti-crypto legislation. Yeah, no kidding. And so here's what Stuart Alderati had to say. This is Ripple's chief legal officer. Of course, he said, "I'm no political savant, but alienating the 20% of voting Americans that own crypto 5 months before the election seems like a losing move." Now, that is spot on. And I'll just keep beating this drum. I've been saying this a lot lately. There is no anti-crypto voter block. It does not exist. There are people who don't like crypto, but whatever is happening as it pertains to the regulatory status of crypto, good or bad, the anti-crypto people, that's not going to change who they're voting for. They're not driven by this. The people in crypto, like us, we're the ones that give a damn. So it just doesn't exist. There is no anti-crypto voter block. These people don't exist. But there is a huge pro-crypto voter block. And so when Alderati here says, yeah, kind of maybe a stupid idea, but I'm paraphrasing now, to alienate 20% of voting Americans that own crypto 5 months before the election. Yeah, might be a bad idea, you idiot sticks, but that's what they're doing. A swing and a miss so far as I'm concerned. And here's the latest from Attorney John Deaton. You'll find this interesting. And he put in some serious money, like I alluded to at the beginning part of the video. He invested $1 million of his own money into this. So check this out. This reads as follows. Fundraising quarter ends June 30th. Now that we know Elizabeth Warren is still calling the shots at the White House, you have an opportunity to help to do something about it. I've acknowledged my path to victory versus Elizabeth Warren is not a wide path. I've also admitted the path is uphill. But everything in my life has been an uphill battle. So maybe that's why it doesn't discourage me, but instead motivates me. I don't know any other way. I 100% reject the notion that it can't be done. After being a dropout for the first 3.5 months of high school, I was told graduating while living in Highland Park, Detroit, couldn't be done. At 14, I began 18-hour days and graduated on time. I was told working 30 hours a week and receiving treatment for testicular cancer, trying to get through an incredibly challenging first year of law school couldn't be done. But I did it. And I can tell you that that was a lot harder than going up against an entrenched Washington elite. I was told getting through 10 weeks of intense USMC training, United States Marine Corps, of course, with a broken navicular bone in my right wrist could not be done. I was commissioned a second lieutenant 10 weeks later. When I took on the SEC and went up against the government on behalf of token holders from around the globe, including 627 Massachusetts holders, because that's where Senator Elizabeth Warren, of course, has her position in Massachusetts. And I mention that because I'm sure most of you in the United States are aware of that, but this channel has people listening outside of the United States, so I just thought I'd mention. But anyway, so he says, I was told I was wasting my time and I would not make a difference. Yet the judge agreed with my brief, citing my efforts in her final decision. Yeah, so I will pause to note, as it pertains to the SEC v. Ripple case, the fact that Judge Torres went out of her way to declare that XRP itself is not a security, I do not believe that would have happened if John Deaton didn't jump in. I really don't think it would have happened. And the reason I say that is because he ended up representing over 75,000 XRP holders. It became crystal clear that that was needed. Without that extra oomph, I just don't think it would have happened. Maybe we still would have gotten a positive outcome, perhaps. Can't know for sure exactly what it would have looked like. But what John Deaton did was highly consequential for the entire crypto asset class. And obviously, first and foremost, the immediate impact was for us as XRP holders. We got what we wanted and what we needed. But, you can't overstate the degree to which this is impactful. And John Deaton did that. He's doing big stuff with his life. That's for damn sure. Anyway, he continues. If I would have listened to those who say it can't be done, I wouldn't be alive today. I would not be in this race if there was no path to victory. There is. I wouldn't have put in $1 million of my own money if there wasn't a path to win. I wouldn't subject my $3 to the things that'll be said about me, including flat-out lies and mischaracterizations about who I am or what I've done. My two oldest daughters have already become upset and angry because Senator Warren immediately lied about me the very day I announced my candidacy, calling me a far-right extremist and describing me as a threat to democracy. That's right, according to her, the Marine Corps officer who served 7 years of active duty serving his country is the threat to democracy and freedom, and not her failed policies. Senator Elizabeth Warren knows how vulnerable she is against me, and that's why she keeps emailing her donors about me. She participated in a joke about how I have no chance to win. When someone has no chance to win, you definitely don't make jokes about how they have no chance to win. A poll last year showed former Republican Governor Charlie Baker would destroy her in a race for the Senate by 15 points. 57% of Boston.com readers said Senator Warren is vulnerable to losing against me. That's huge. 57% in Boston? Whew. She has a 41% approval rating, according to the Boston Globe. She has a bad approval rating in part because she's passed one bill as a primary sponsor in 12 years. And folks, that's an astonishing figure. One bill in 12 years. Maybe not doing so hot. And then he says she's so disliked in her home state, she finished embarrassingly third in the Democratic presidential primary behind Biden and Bernie Sanders. I have assembled the right team, including senior members of the Governor Baker team, helping me lead my campaign. 64% of voters in Massachusetts are unenrolled, the highest percentage of independent voters than any other state in the country. Our internal numbers show I'm a lot closer than some people likely think. Massachusetts has a history of electing fiscally conservative, socially moderate Republicans like Mitt Romney, Scott Brown, Bill Weld, Charlie Baker, etc. But I need your help. I need to make a good fundraising number this quarter, which ends on June 30th. Elizabeth Warren had $3 million more than me in the bank at the end of the last quarter, and I need to close the gap. Remember, I announced late on February 20th, 2024. Please go to johndeatonforsenate.com and give $10, $25, $50, $100, or more if able. Please spread the word. We can make this happen together. And then he shared this clip. Charles Gasparion's just like 5 seconds, and he's like, "Why?" He basically says like, "Why is Elizabeth Warren so scared of John Deaton?" Well, might it be because John Deaton's right and there really is a path forward? I certainly think so. I think she's scared as hell because there's a real good chance here she's going to be unemployed come November. That'll be fantastic because she is the worst thing for crypto, which means for all of you listening. And she's been making real pushes. I know you just think, okay, so it's a senator from one state. Yeah, but all of this can have rippling effects. If she gets her way and gets other people on board, not good for us and our financial well-being. Now, I don't think that ultimately she's going to win regarding her anti-crypto endeavors, but you still have to fight back against her, push back against her terrible ideas, you know? And so I'm really glad that John Deaton is doing this, and I will not be surprised when he wins. I'll just say that. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.